I hope my network is good today because the last time I had a stream is good today because the last time I had a stream the last time I had a stream I could not stream for long because my network was very bad. Okay, I mean it looks good. So yeah. So before I start, what I want to show is I've been following like this plan and execute pattern for the past few days now. Like I plan stuff and I didn't execute because I've been trying to make sure that everything that I do them intentionally. Like even though I do tinker a lot with stuff, sometimes it makes sense to plan out things that you want to do so you don't get lost just like doing random stuff. So I've made a list of things that I'd want to do. Currently, I just cleaned up my Obsidian. It's looking good, so I'm gonna move that over it to done. And I do have some other things that I want to do, like create a dev container. So what this one now, I don't really need to do it now. It basically means I want to like create a development environment for like every project that I have, because I don't want to have to install packages in a system, right? Um, and there's a better way to do this. You could obviously use dev.sh. Dev.sh is a tool that I recently just found out about. Devn.sh. You could basically spin up your development environment for like mostly any languages. Honestly, I have experimented with it, but you have to be using Nix in order to be able to do that. And yeah, and since I use Nix, and there's a lot of advantage to using Nix, and Nix works on mostly any operating system, I could create my own special development environment for certain projects that I need. And when I'm in a new system, I could just pin up my development environment. Like for example, I do have a project um, that I was trying to experiment with development environment, just how it's gonna be like if I actually want to create one for my project. And I made a test project. So if I go to builds and I go to, I can't remember where I am. Let's see, dev, yeah, development environment. So this is basically uh, testing dev, yeah. Yeah, so I have this I have this flick file. What's going on with me? So I have this flick file that basically spins up these packages whenever I want to probably need like some certain package. I could just uh, build this flick file and I'll get this package. But what if we don't want this package? What if we want um, certain packages that relates to our projects that we want to do? Let's say we want a project that needs like Node. We're gonna have Node maybe 24. If we need Java, we're gonna have Java. And then when we list out all the packages that we need, uh, we could just run like nix build to kind of like just spin up or nix. I think it's nix develop. Like if I run nix develop, let's see. Yeah, you see, this will just fetch me the package that I need to probably for that project, right? Which is good. Like that means that if I have a new project, I don't need to have to start, going through the process of installing this package. That would take a long time, and that would even slow down like your productive and the efficiency. So it's not really that good. But with this, all you just have to do is just develop and then you have it. So if I do reach hello, you can see that I already have like hello right there, just like that. I I how many minutes does that take? And which is one of the very good benefit of Nix, right? You could have like your entire project dependency and packages that you need in a Flick file, and then all you just have to do is just nix develop or nix build, and you have your dependency and everything you need, which is very good. If I want to exit from this, I can just do exit, and if I do which hello, sorry, you could see hello not found. It means that everything's gone. Uh, that's so lovely. So what I plan to do is I plan to create my own development environment, specifically for the packages that I need. So, but enough of that. What I plan to do for the next few weeks after work is to uh, have like a 1 hour session on the nix.dev. So I do know a bit of Nix. I have been using Nix for a while now, but I still want to like understand the Nix languages a lot more. So I decided I've been trying to gather resources and where to start from and all that stuff. I do have a lot of places to start from, but I because I it's just too much, right? I get confused. I've gone through the nix.dev before. I just didn't like actually uh, take my time to actually code out stuff and explore, but I want to do that now. Just slowly go through nix.dev and then move on to probably Nixbook and then move on to other resources. So I'm gonna be starting with nix.dev going forward now, and yeah, let's start. So before we start, I need to good. Let me pin this. Nice. So 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 uh I might not be talking as I'm doing this because I'm also learning. I'm not used to doing stuff and talking on camera, even though that's what I plan to develop. But if I do see something that needs to be you know and that needs me talking, I would definitely say something. I think this one is walking us through how to install that. Well, how we have to have Nix on our system. Like if you're using Docker, you need to make sure you have Nix. If you're using WSL, you need to make sure you have Nix. If you're using macOS, you need to make sure you have Nix. So let me confirm that I have Nix. I mean, I'm using Nix, so I definitely have Nix. Let's confirm the version. Nice. I have the latest version. Let's start the tutorial. First step. In this lesson, you would use basic nix command to obtain almost any piece of software, create development environment on the fly, learn how to make reproducible script. You also learn reading the Nix language. This is really what I want to understand, and later use it to build portable reproducible development environment. Just what I need. So let's move on to the next. We're going to create a Nix shell. In a Nix shell environment, you can immediately use any program package to with Nix without having to install it permanently, which is basically what I went through uh, earlier on. You could also share the command invoking such a shell with others. Yeah, yeah, and it will work on all Linux distribution, WSO and macOS, as far as they have Nix installed. Create a shell environment. Once you install Nix, you could use it to create new shell environment with programs that you want to use. In this section, you would run two exotic programs called Cowsay and Locat that you probably not have installed on your machine. I think I have Cowsay on my machine. I do have Cowsay, but I don't think I have Locast. No, I don't. Good. In this section, okay, yeah, I've gone through that. Cowsay, no can do. Well, since I have Cowsay, if I do Cowsay, no can do, let me just put my name in there. Look at that. Well, that's because I have it. But I don't have low card, so if I do echo no chance if I do, my keyboard doesn't have pipe, so I might not be able to pipe, but yeah, whatever that means, I don't have locate installed. Use nix shell with the p package option to specify that we need cowsay and lookup package. So if you don't have a certain package in Nix, you could basically uh, create a shell of that package. So now I don't have lookup. If I do nix lookup, sorry, nix shell um, lookup, something's wrong. I didn't put the part or package. This would go ahead and fetch me lookup, and then I'll be able to use it, which is very interesting. It's just like using npm to install like dependency. But then when you use it to install dependency, you have to just like uninstall the dependency with npm, which sometimes could possibly cause certain issues that you don't need. But with Nix shell, it doesn't work that way. Once you get the package, you're already there. If you do which lookup, look at that, we have lookup installed. Now we could just make use of it. And let's try this again. Let's get this cow say hello, and then lookup. What's wrong with my banana cursor? You see that? I got a very pretty um, gradient looking cow say output. And one very interesting thing about the Nix shell again, like I said, is you don't have to do like Nix uh, shell uninstall lookup. Like that would not work. It's not like npm. You just have to exit. It's like you exiting a SSH, and there you go. If you do which lookup again, lookup is gone. And if you want to go back into lookup, you could uh, just do nix shell. Sorry, not this one. Nix shell p lookup, and there you go. We have lookup again. Yeah, so it would not download the dependencies or the packages to like again when you enter the shell. Even though those downloaded like the packages and like dependencies are temporal, once you do a nixos review or nixos, once you clean your system, it goes off. But while you still in the same like session, or while you haven't like clean up your system with nixos reboot switch, the packages kind of like remains, right? You could enter the Nix shell anytime you like. So if I do which lookup again, you can see that I have lookup still existing in my system. So I didn't uninstall it. I didn't uh, you know clean it up. I just exit. Once you exit it, you're out of the shell. And one very interesting thing about the Nix shell is you could have like another Nix shell inside the Nix shell. So as you can see for this one, I have lookup. Let's say I need another package. Um, what package could I possibly need? Uh, let's say I need I do have like most of the package. Uh, um, I don't know what package I might need right now, but uh, if I do Nix shell p lookup again, I could have like I'm inside another lookup shell. It could not be locate and then be another package, and I would be inside another package inside of the locate shell. So it's like you could go as kind of like much as you want. So I could exit the this locate shell, and then I'm still inside the previous locate shell, which I could also um, exit, and I'm out. So let's see again. Let's go. The first invocation of Nick shell for these packages may take a while to download. Yep. Like I said, I already cleaned it up, but the first time I downloaded the low card, it takes a while to download. But then once all the dependencies have been downloaded, you don't need to download them again. It would just kind of like it would just use it. It would just use it like it's already on your system. Not unless you run like a nix attribute switch command and then it goes off. Within the Nix shell, you could use program package by these packages. You have done that, and then if you want to exit, you could type exit or Ctrl D to exit the shell, and the program won't be available anymore. Exactly, and then not unless you clean it, like I said. If you clean it up, it would not be available anymore. It would download the dependencies again. But if you did not, the dependency would remain on your system. You could exit and you could enter back again. Run the program once. Nix shell run. Hmm, I don't think I noticed. You could even go faster by running any program directly. So you could just do nix shell cow say, yeah, okay, this makes sense. So what this kind of does is it creates the packages and then just at the same time, once the package is created, run any command that you want to run. So you don't have to create the shell and then type in like the command to run calce again. It's just like it's like killing two birds with like one stone. If the command consists only of the package name, no quotes are needed. Search for package. What can you put in a Nix shell environment? If you think, if you can think of it, there's probably a Nix package for it. Yeah, because NixOS has kind of like a repository that contains over 80,000 packages, so there's a higher chance of you actually finding any package that you want. And even if you didn't find a package that you want, you could create your own, you could build your own package. For example, there was a time where I needed like I wanted to learn how to build my own package, and I love Groovebox a lot. As you can see, I use Groovebox all over my system, and I found a package that could basically let you convert any image to a Groovebox theme. But then when I searched the Nix repository for that package, I could not find it, and I had to then build the package myself, which was a very interesting learning for me. I felt like a Nix guru at the time. But yeah, you could build your package if you can't find it, but there's a much higher percentage that you would find the package that you need. Uh, so for example, find the package name for this program. So um, yeah, but there's a much better way to find package that you need. I mean, obviously, let's assume that we don't have Git in the Nix repository. Let's just assume. I know we do, but what if we don't have Git and then we want to find the package that we want to find out if we have Git. We could just do Nix shell and then we just put Git, right? Which would definitely work because we have Git as a package. But if we want to actually know without having to go over to uh, Nix repository and then say like Git, right? If you don't want to do it this way, we could use something called nh. So nh is like a improved. Uh, Let me search for it. Where it's like a Nix CLI helper that is used for various things. You could use it to clean up your system. You could use it to um, search for packages from Nix repository. You could use it to do quite a lot of things. What I really use it to do is to clean up my system. Like if I want to clean up my Nix generation, I could just do Nix clean all keep 3. So this would clean up my generations and only make sure that I have 3 generations in case I want to roll back to them. But then if you want to search for certain packages, like let's say I want to search for Git, just, if we assume that we don't have Git, we could just do nh search and then just do Git, and this will go ahead and tell us all available packages with the name Git. And there we are, you have the Git packages, and then you could then do nix shell create Git in order to uh, download the Git temporarily on your system. So yeah, let's go back to the let's go back in here. In the search result, each item shows the package name and the detailed list in the available program. Yeah. Run any command of program. Once you have the package name, you could start a shell with that package, which is basically what I said. Once you find the package name, for example Git, you could just start a nix shell with that package. Just do nix shell p git, and then you would get the dependencies, and then Git would get downloaded to your system. And you could check the version of Git. So let's assume we already have Git as a nix shell. We're just going to do which Git, and then that would show us that we have Git. And then if you want to check Git version, we could just do git -- version, and we have the version. Instead shell session. Yeah, I already explained this. This basically means that if we have the um, cart which we initially created, we could also create another uh, we could also create another we could also create another shell inside the shell, so we could have like a shell inside another shell. If you need additional program temporarily, you could run a nested nix shell. The programs provided by the specified package will be added to the current environment. So you could be in a Python 3 nix shell, and you could even be in another shell within the Python 3 shell. This shell environment are very convenient, but the example are far not reproducible yet. Running this command on another machine may fetch a different version of packages depending on when nix was installed there. Yeah, because nix has like different versions. We have the stable, we have the unstable, we have the latest version. So depending on the current nix version that is being installed on a particular system, you might be using a older version. So if you run a nix shell on your system, you would get the older version of nix. While if I'm running a much more advanced version of like a much more stable latest version of nix, then I would get the latest version of Git. So it's not fully like reproducible as you can see in there. There's a chance that you have different versions on different systems. What do we mean by reproducible? A fully reproducible example would give exactly the same result no matter when or where you run the command. Exactly. If it's reproducible, this means that regardless of the version of nix that you're using, as far as you run the nix shell, you would get the same latest version of the packages that you need. But we're not there yet. I mean, there are certain ways to work around this, which I don't really have much idea about, but I'm sure there are certain ways to work around this. The following example creates a fully reproducible environment. You can run it anywhere, anytime to obtain the exact same version of Git. Like I said, I didn't even know, I didn't see this. So, nix shell git run git version pure. Okay, so I think what this one does is, let's assume that you like I gave an example earlier on. I have a different version of nix installed. You have a different version of nix installed. We both fetch a nix. We both created a nix shell for Git, right? You might get a different version. I might get a different version of Git depending on the version of nix that we're using, right? But a much better way to get the exact same version would be to uh, fetch uh, to specify like where you want to fetch the version of Git from. So if you want to fetch it from a specific commit, right? So there could be like a specific commit that as that specified version that you need. So this command is basically specifying what uh, commit that they need to fetch the git from. So this way, regardless of the versions of Nix you have installed, you would get the exact same version, because as you can see, we have the commit hash for that package. Well, I wouldn't really recommend this because I mean it's good, but it's just too much. Like you really have to go out of your way to find a specific commit that you need, and then put the commit in there, and then run some commands that really it's alright if it, but it doesn't really, it's not something that you do like often. Run execute the given bash command within the environment created by Nix and exit when it's done. You could use this with Nix shell whenever you want to quickly run a program you don't have to install on your machine. So yeah, pure discard most environment variables set on your system when you run in the shell. It means that only the git provided by Nix is available inside that shell. This is useful for simple one-liner, such as in the example, while developing. However, you will usually want to have your editor and other tools around. Therefore, we recommend to omit pure for development environment and add it to only when the extra isolation is needed. I really don't understand what this means, but I think when you run pure, this means that you are basically running the git, right? You're running the git version uh, only within that shell, right? So outside of that shell, like let's say you want to like cd into like um, let me see, let me try and see if I could come up with something. I don't really know honestly, but I think I have an idea, but I don't really know if it's the best. Yeah, I think it basically means that if you use a pure command, Git would only be available inside of the Nix shell, meaning it cannot be used outside of that Nix shell, right? It can only be used within the Nix shell, and which is basically what a Nix shell is in general. Reproducible interpreted script. In this tutorial, you will learn how to use Nix to create and run reproducible. Oh wow, what's this? I have a bug in my room. I have a bug in my room. Throw it outside. Yeah, I think it's gone. Alright, so in this tutorial, you will learn how to use the Nix to create and run reproducible interpreted script, also known as shebang script. Requirement: you need a working Nix installation, and you need to be familiar with Bash. I have a working Nix installation, and I have a bit of idea. I have a bit of knowledge using Bash, so I should be good. A trivial script with non-trivial dependency. Take the following script, which features the context XML of a URL, convert it to JSON and format it for a better reproducibility. So this script fetches certain content from nix.pkg, and then it converts that content to a JSON file. Oh my god, I have a mosquito now. What the hell is this? I think I need to turn off my light, because give me a second. So I don't have like mosquitoes in my room, and I just turned off that light um because then I would attract more mosquitoes, and yeah. Alright, so it requires the program. Oh yeah, it uses this call command to fetch this and then formats it into JSON, and then converts it to JSON and format it using the JQ package. So let's run this command and see. Uh, Let me cd into document. Cd into git. What did I do? So I'm fetching it, but then I'm not going to format it because I don't have this package which is used to format. Right, so since I don't have this package, how about we use nix shell? This is like a very good example of nix shell. So let's use nix shell to fetch this package. So then we could use the command. What did it say? Undefined variable. Okay, I don't know what that means. Let's see. Oh, I think this is not a package, is it? Let me do nix shell. Let me do nh search. We do have it as a package, but then why is the nix shell not fetching it for us? Alright, well, I think there's a better way. I just don't know. Yeah, I think this one would work. XML to JSON. Could not find it in the Flick registry. Wow. Let me run it first of all. You say you could not find out. I think I need to install this, but I don't want to. I want to install this with a nix shell. Nix shell. I think I found a better way to do it. If you do nix shell and you do nix.pkg, we're just gonna do what's the name again? XML to JSON. Oh wow. Package XML to JSON or XML to JSON. Did you mean DOM to JSON? I mean XML to JSON. I think I'm just gonna do something else. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to I don't like the fact that it needs to download like the dev environment like each time. Like it take a while. All I just need is a package, right? We should be able to get this package from could not find fake 60 messages in here. Take registry. Um, it's so weird. We could just where should I put that? Let me put that into one of this just for testing purposes. Let's just do that. XML to JSON. Let me save that. You see the next attribute switch. We should get the packages, then we could test it. It fetches it, convert to JSON, and then it formats it for better readability. With nix, we could declare all dependency explicitly and produce a script that will always run. Oh, what happened? Okay, so I think the package is not available on XML to JSON. XML to JSON, XML to... We do have this, but I think, I think it's used a different way. Let's do this. I don't want to try this, I want to try this one. So let's do this. Let's do nix shell. That one. Alright. Okay, I don't know why it's not working. I'm just going to hide it in here instead. Just gonna do this. This should work now, and if it doesn't work, we're just gonna move on. Okay, so for some reason we can't. I think there's an issue with the package. because it's broken and it's refusing to evaluate. So we can't install that. Uh, I really want to make it work for some reason. I just let's try the recent one. Python XML JSON. Convert XML into here. Let's try this one. Let's do sudo. We should get that going. Okay. Even though I don't really want to install it on my system, if we try that with a nix shell, I think we should be good. Oh, what did I do? Let's get this. Alright, good, we have it now. Even though it's installed in here, we could just comment this out for now. We'll build this. We have it regardless if we do which XML. Oh, then how do we call this? Do we do which? Well, looks like I don't know. I really don't know how to make it work, but we could do this and we're gonna get it, but for some reason, like, oh, look at that, finally it's working. We have XML to JSON. If we do which XML JSON, I don't know why. XML JSON. Well, I don't know why it doesn't work. So let's just move on with the. If any of the dependencies are not present on the system running the script, it would fail partially and altogether. Yeah, as you can see, I could not get XML to work, so that means I cannot run the script. But we all know what it does. With Nix, we could declare all dependency explicitly and produce a script that will always run on any machine that support Nix and the required package taken from Nix package. Yeah. Why do I have like flies, mosquitoes, and like random stuff coming into my room? code XML to JSON. That's why the script wasn't working. Let's go back and run this again. As you can see, it fetches the package, format the package, and converts it to JSON. And now we have a JSON file. Sweet. So now what we want to do is, instead of having to do this and running like a one-liner, we want to create a script that would enter a shell, pull the necessary packages, and then sorry, create a shell with the necessary packages that we need, and then run the following command and do it the exact same thing. So remember, we're trying to do this like manually ourselves by installing by using the nix shell to get the package that we need, and then uh, running the command manually. But what this file does is like it creates a shell script file that has necessary commands for the steps, and then it performs the commands that it wants to perform. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a directory. I'm just gonna call it nix.dev. Right, I'm gonna cd nix.dev. Good. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna create the shell. I'm just gonna do nvim. Gonna get the name of this. I'm just gonna say nix uh, release nix release.sh. So now that we're in the script file, I'm just gonna get this exact same thing. As you can see, what this file does is first we add a shebang for the nix shell, and then we had the necessary steps that it's going to take. First, we need you to run inside the bash. We need you to create uh, a bash shell. We need you to create a shell for each and every one of these packages, and then we want you to fetch create a nix shell with the specific what's this again? With the specific commit. Like if you want to fetch any one of these, make sure you fetch from the specific uh, commit hash, and then perform the following. So what we're gonna do now is, once we're done with that, we're just gonna chmod. Uh, we're gonna chmod nix release.sh, and then we could just like run the script. We're just gonna do that, and it's going to do the exact same thing that we want it to do. And the first line is a standard shebang. The additional shebang line are a specific nix construct. With the high option, bash is specified as the interpreter of the rest of the file. In this case, the pure option is enabled to prevent the script from implicitly using programs that may already exist on the system on which the script is running. Okay, now I understand. So what this pure command means is that even though we have like the packages that we want to use or that we want to create a shell for, even though we have the packages existing on the system, we want to only make sure that um, we want to only make sure that the fetch packages is the one being used. So it's going to ignore every other package that we have on the system. It's not going to pull those in. It's just going to make sure that it uses the bash that it fetches from the specified nix.pkg hash to perform the command. And as you can see, based on the script, it does all this. It fetches the necessary dependencies, and then it then fetches the file, and then it converts the file to JSON, and then it formats it with a JQ package. Uh, that's basically what it does, which is quite interesting. And we already done this. We chmod the script file, and then we run the script file, and then we get the result. Pretty simple. Uh, what can I do? Let's say we want to move this a step further without like doing what is being specified in the documentation. Let me go back inside of the, what did I do? Let me go back inside of the sh file. Okay, we have bash, we have all this. Let's assume we don't want to run this specific command anymore. We just want to run a different command, like just do, oh sorry, let's just do, we don't want you to do this. We want you to just do like, what's the, we want you to do we could just say echo cow say, not even echo cow say, we could just say cow say uh, this is the interval red script. Yeah, something like that. uh, maybe it's gonna do that. And let's remove some of the packages that we don't need. We possibly want to get, we don't want this, we want just um, we want to have cow say, and we want to have, let's say we want to have look at, I forgot like the command we use for look at initially. Yeah, next, and then we have look at right there. So what we do is we make sure that we're making use of the bash and avoid and discard every other environment. So we're not going to use the bash on the system, we're going to use the bash that we fetch from the specific commit hash. And we create nix.dev for counsel and locart, which are going to be fetched from this. And then we just like execute the command. So let's gmod that again, and let's do dot slash. Let's see what it does. As you can see, that looks pretty. It looks just exactly like the Groovebox theme. So yeah, that's what we do. And if I do which locate now, you can see that we don't even have it, right? It's just gonna make use of it for that particular uh, command or that particular process, and once the process ends, it's gonna exit right immediately. Let's go back to, okay, yeah, I think we're done basically with this. Maybe tomorrow we're gonna start with declarative shell environment and some other stuff, but for tonight I think that is okay. I actually want to make it an hour, but I think we're just gonna stop here for today. My plan was just to stream a little bit before, just to get used to streaming and to learn Nix alongside. So thank you guys for watching, if anyone is watching, and see you tomorrow. Just to give a recap of what we did. First, we started with the first step, which means we have to make sure that we have Nix installed on our system. There are different ways to get Nix on your system if you want to practice, but I already have a NixOS distro running, so I have Nix installed already on my system. So all I had to do was check the version of Nix installed on my system, and then after that I move into the tutorial where I start with the fourth step. And first thing we did was we created a shell environment. We created a shell environment. We um, make use of the packages that we download using the shell. We basically just make use of it, and we fetch some of the packages that we need. We created a nexted shell session, meaning that we could have a shell inside a shell. We could have Python, and we could have another packages inside of the Python shell. So we could basically have different level of shell environment within our shell. And um, after that we move on to the next one, which was the reproducible interpreter script, where we created a script that uh, that fetches the necessary packages that we need to run a command. The script basically uh, creates a new shell for bash and creates a next shell for the other package that we need, and it fetches those package from a specified commit hash and then run the same command to make use of the packages. So that's basically what we did. And tomorrow we're gonna move on to declarative shell environment. And yeah, I know I'm not so good at explaining stuff. I'm trying. My goal is to improve actually, and learn to probably talk slow, breathe the right way, not get nervous, and just make sure that I have a better way of explaining to people, because I do love to explain stuff to people. I love teaching people stuff because I learn most of what I know now from people, and it's always very good to give back to people. And I I'm doing this to improve and learn. So next time I want to explain something to like a group of people or my friends or at work, I have this confidence and this flow and this calmness, and I'm able to explain things in a very simple, easy to understand way. So by doing this, hopefully I hope to improve and also enjoy the process and the journey. Thank you so much for uh, yeah, thank you, and good night. I'm gonna go sleep now. Bye.